So what we were doing, we broke it down to like 2 minutes.
Right, it's week 2 on the diet update, for want of a better term. I lost £1 in 4 days. I weighed myself from the last time, lost £9, just over. And so from the Monday to the Friday morning, I weighed myself again because we went off to a wedding for that weekend. So I wasn't going to come back to the Tuesday. So diet was out the window for the wedding. So I thought, okay, at least I'll weigh myself before I go to know if it's on track or not. But yeah, between Monday and Friday I lost £1. So it's clearly that sort of diet has run its course, which is okay. I mean, it's a total loss of £10, so that's pretty cool. I should imagine it's £10 in 8 or 9 days, so that's not too bad. So the weight's now been lost. Now going to be entering phase 2 of the weight loss, fitness, healthy lifestyle, for want of a better term. So all it is now, I spoke to my friend at work who does all the bodybuilding, and when I said before about your metabolism actually speeds up if you eat small regular meals throughout the day rather than one big meal in the evening like most of us do. If you don't exercise, all of them calories sat there all evening, not moving around, you're just going to be stored as fat. And you're just going to be fighting a losing battle. A general feelingness of unhealthiness, hard to move around, strain on the heart, and all sorts of other problems contribute to excess weight that you carry around. So I thought, okay then, lose as much weight as possible to allow me to exercise easier. So £10 gone. So all I'm doing now is, as I said, I spoke to my guy at work, does the bodybuilding, and he sort of recommends, if you want to lose weight but healthy, try doing a calorie intake of 2,000 calories a day. Now in the UK, the government recommended allowance for adult males is 2,500 calories a day, and women 2,000 calories a day. So yeah, it looks like I'm going on a woman diet for a man, so it should work. How he's worked it out and told me was if you have 300 grams of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, none of your fast, easy carbs like fruits and sugars and stuff, you know, it gets burnt up real quick. You want something that's going to slowly release energy, so you shouldn't really feel hungry, which is a major problem when people try to lose weight. You know, they feel hungry, there's bloody temptation everywhere, and they just pig out on crap, and they wonder why it doesn't work. So it's 300 grams a day in carbohydrates and 90 grams of protein, which is going to be your lean meats. You know, there's no fat, cut all the fat off, because it's bad fat. You want to get your fats, which is the 10%, or the 10 grams a day. It's going to come from good fats. We're talking omega-3 essential fatty acids that you find in fish, which I eat fish anyway every day, it's not a problem. So yeah, you want to get your polys and mollies, as he called it, your polyunsaturates and the molyunsaturates. Light olive oil is quite good for this. It seems to have least saturated fat than most oils. It's probably hemp oil and other stuff. I haven't tried yet. But anyway, that's the basic term. I don't want to go into detail on everything because we can be all bloody day, because food is a long and fascinating subject to talk about. So that's all I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be having my porridge in the morning with my banana, same as, that's not going to change. It's going to be the same sort of time differences as well. You know, I'm going to be eating, the porridge is going to be 7 o'clock in the morning, the next intake is going to be 10, the next one's going to be 12:30 or 1 o'clock, 3 or 3:30, then 6:30 when I come home from work. And that's it. So all I'm going to be doing is making a balanced meal to start with, which will do all of the calories for one day, and then split it into 4 portions really, which is going to be the 3 at work and 1 at home. So that's how it's going to be playing out for me. Coupled with exercise. Now you can choose to do this diet. What I'm planning to do is, it's all experimental for the first couple of weeks, because you've really got to find your way of what works for you. There's no point following someone else's ingredients if you don't really like it that much or don't get on with it. It might affect you some way. But that's a whole new subject altogether. So, you know, I'm trying to do different stuff like my whole grain rice, which I have a lot anyway, pastas. Everything's got to be whole grain for me because you get the most goodness in there and you get a big, slower release of energy rather than just white rice, which has had all of the goodness stripped out of it, essentially. So yeah, it's just going to be a mixture of your oats, your good quality whole grain pastas, including your rice as I just said, and also potatoes as well with the skin on, you know, just good quality complex carbohydrates. So that's what I'm going to be eating, mixed up with a variety of, personally I'm going to be using prawns. They're relatively cheap, not the king prawns, just the cheap standard. I think Americans call them shrimp, the tiny little things. Very low in fat, very high in protein, very good for you. Chicken, pork loin, turkey breasts or steaks cut into thin strips for easy cooking. All of the fat cut off and all of the meat is going to be grilled. The prawns have already been pre-boiled and cooled and frozen, so they just defrost and just get eaten with whatever carbs that I'm going to put with it. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is doing my 4 same size portions throughout the day. Metabolism speeds up in time, so your body gets introduced to a new way of digesting food rather than a great big lump in the evening and sitting there and turning to fat. And exercise. Now all I plan to do is just to walk, essentially. I don't know how many miles, I'm not really interested. Just go out for half an hour to an hour every evening and just walk. If I can be bothered, I might take the truck to see how long the distance was, or if I'm anal I can go into Google Earth and pace it out to see how far it actually is. But when I feel like it, I'll just burst into a little jog here and then. It might be 50 yards, 100 yards, whatever it may be. And then, you know, if you start to feel like warning signs, like you start to breathe too fast, or you start to spit a lot, or you start to get a bit of a chest pain, for example, just slow down to walking again. And just keep doing this. That's what I plan to do anyway, to get some sort of basic level of fitness together. And then the aim is to go running. I mean, for years, for 3 or 4 years, I used to run 3 miles every single night without fail with my dog, and never felt better, you know. But I couldn't run a mile now without busting a ball bag, or I'd be screwed. It's no good at all. So that's the aim anyway. Incidentally, when I was on this wedding, I spent an hour and a half in the pool, just done about 30 lengths backwards and forwards. And that was great. You can swim to the end, have a little breather for 30 seconds and then do another length. I just kept doing that. So I'm thinking, well, an hour and a half of doing something rather than just sat around doing nothing. You know, that burnt off a few calories. It got your body used to doing something, which for me is what it's all about, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just going to give you just a very, very quick overview of some of the stuff I'm going to be taking to work, and what's good for you and what's probably bad for you as well. Well, as you can see there, this is porridge oats, which I have every single morning without fail, and it's a good way to start your engine running. You know, get some energy and calories into you to enable you to burn quicker whatever comes your way during the day, rather than skip breakfast altogether. Breakfast, the most important meal of the day, and there's absolute tons of truth that backs that up. As you can see, the carbohydrate content in there per 100 grams is quite adequate, and not much sugar, to be honest. Good in fibre and even protein, so porridge oats, fantastic, can't knock that at all. And another source of protein as well, and carbohydrates, is the whole grain rice. What you can see on the screen there is exactly what it says on the tin, to be honest. There's no added extras pretty much. You know, the salt is minimal, everything's pretty much good there, and it's convenient to have these sort of pouches. I mean, I have got about 10 kilos of brown rice separate, but for convenience in every day, to knock this up quickly, as this is an experiment, I'm just going to be using these. At the moment, these are currently on offer at Tesco's in the UK, very, very reasonably priced. Also, the same as the There we go, the mackerel fillets there. Fantastic stuff inside them, and I'm just going to have one of those a day because of the fatty oil fats in there. It's really good. Speaking of fats, going on to the olive oil there. Excellent stuff. Oh, and yes, it's got 13 grams of saturated fat per 100 grams, but in fairness, you're not even going to use like 4 grams of that, so you're not going to get any serious shit out of that. It's all going to be good stuff. As is nice chicken breast, high in protein, low in fat. All of the fat's gone, and even lower in fat would be your I don't know if you can see that. That is just turkey breast, just sliced up for convenience and ease of cooking, really. A lot of these are on offer at the moment, so I just grabbed a few packs just to experiment. I mean, I haven't nailed it all down yet, and obviously you're going to have a balanced diet with vegetables, as you should do. And also, if you look at some hot sauce is always good. There's pretty much zero everything, maybe a bit of sodium, but to be honest, I have such a small amount of that, it's not going to make any difference. And obviously bananas. There's the composition of what is actually in a banana. And a funny story about bananas, they're about 110 calories give or take per banana. And I remember going on a rowing machine years ago at the gym and busting a ball bag for half an hour, and I burnt off 110 calories, the same as a banana, which I just ate the second before I sat on the rowing machine. So that made me laugh quite a bit. So that's just a very, very quick look of some of the basics that you might want to think about putting into your diet. It's all good stuff. So what you just saw there was the meal that I had this evening. Just nice and simple, no rubbish in it, pretty much. As I say, I'm just finding my feet at the moment. But it is, if you try to keep within guidelines of 300 grams of carbs a day, 90 grams of protein a day, and 10 grams of good quality fats, none of that saturated stuff, that ain't no good. If you try and keep to those guidelines, you can think of anything you like to fall into them ratios, you know. I mean, it's not a good idea to have loads and loads and loads of red meat and with like a chip on the side. You can eat that, but you're going to have problems if you eat like that for years, colon problems and all sorts of cancers and God knows what. Incidentally, speaking of red meat, funny enough, if you try to add 1 or 2 servings of red meat, lean steak a week, that's very, very good for a certain... it's very, very complex to discuss briefly, but it's a different class of protein and it reacts different than all of the other proteins, only in red meat. So only once, twice at the most, a small portion of red meat will do wonders for your protein intake. So that's all I need to say really about this. As I say, I'm not saying to you do this. All I'm doing is just saying I'm trying this from advice from a friend at work about speeding up your metabolism, getting healthy, losing weight correctly. I mean, the only reason I've done the soup was to lose it quick. So when I do go to exercise in a minute and I go for my walk and my run, I haven't got 10 pounds of weight pushing down on my joints. I've lost 10 pounds and that's quite a lump really. So it managed just about to squeeze into my suit at this wedding. That was flipping touch and go. So yeah, that's me and my little update for week 2. Week 2 didn't go according to plan, but at least I know. So if you are planning on doing the soup diet, for me it only worked for 7 to 8 days. After that, you're just going to get hungry, you're going to get tired, and you won't lose any more weight because you've lost a lot of fluid. Then you're going to start to lose muscle mass, and then when that goes, then you might start to lose some fats, because fats are a survival instinct which stays in you until the last when you really, really need it. You need sugar to burn fat anyway. So that's just a little bit of advice if you are planning on doing a soup diet. Any sort of spices and flavourings, hot sauces or whatever to make it taste bearable, go for it, because it doesn't contain much bad stuff in it, really. just keep an eye on your sodium intake with salt, because a lot of these seasonings like Old Bay is laced with salt, so I need a little bit, don't go crazy on it. So I think that's all I can say at this point in time. Got loads of videos planned because, as most of you know, I've been working my ass off, doing lots of hours, and just not any time or the energy to fit in videos. So I'm going to try and do what I can, with a few announcements of some future stuff coming up, which is going to be very well received. So, right, what you see here in front of you is 1 day's worth of food for this diet or healthy lifestyle I'm trying out. There's the grilled turkey with pretty much low in fat and everything else. Your mackerel fillets with the essential fatty acids in there. Obviously hot sauce, give it a bit of flavouring. Quite a bit of whole grain rice. Don't forget, this is going to be split into 4 little portions mixed up with everything else. And left over from my soup, that is brilliant stuff, and it turns out half a pack, which is pretty much what there is left, will balance out with my carb intake with all of the rice. Really good things going on with bell peppers. Google and research those about all the good stuff that's in them. Obviously garlic, got to have garlic, and some shiitake mushrooms just to bulk it out with some sort of nice chewiness. And that is pretty much it for 1 day. Obviously make sure you drink loads and loads of water with this. Don't eat this all in one go. That's not good. So yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Well, there we have it. The turkey's cooked. Everything's cooked really, pretty much. All that's going to need is just reheating as and when I need it. Now, as I said, this is for 4 equally divided portion sizes, so it's just a case of turning it into quarters, putting them into a suitable container, and just eating those roughly 1 every 3 hours. About 3 hours after you've already eaten your porridge, of course. And also at some point in the day, gonna have to get that down my neck as well. And also, having this as a base, you can pretty much put anything you like to whack some flavour into it. You know, this is pretty much 0 calories. You know, you don't need a lot of it either because it's nice and hot. Any spices that you like, whatever it is, curry powder, smoky paprika, anything you want, just chuck it in it to make it taste nice. And yeah, that seems quite a lot of food, and to be honest, it is really. It's amazing to see a well balanced diet of 2,000 calories. You know, to consume that equal times throughout the day, it should work, providing you put a bit of exercise in there as well. It's no good just having this and not doing no exercise or moving around at all. It's just not worth it. It's just going to get stored as fat. So as I say, all I'm going to be doing is just go out for half an hour to an hour if I've got time, just to walk, and when I feel like it, I'll just go jogging for a bit, and then when I get puffed out or whatever, I'll just slow down to a walk again, and just do that and gradually build up to where I was 20 odd years ago when I was running 3 miles every single night for about 3 or 4 years. So that's what's going to be going on for the meantime. This is just finding my feet, as it were. I mean, there's loads of other things you can have. This is just for 1 day. You know, you can have all sorts of things like boiled eggs, you know, take the yolk out and just have, I don't know, just vary it, you know, so you're not having the yolk because there's a lot of fat in there. Yeah, for any of you guys who like this sort of food, well, it's like a Chinese takeaway, but healthy. As I say, the flavour makes it. And for me, that's not too bad at all. That's the update. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay funky.